Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So we're coming up to the holiday season. Now, ever since I moved out of my parents' home to go pursue my PhD, I was 21 years old at the time, I've really come to Peter dislike holidays, and the reason for that is that I would get excited about Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up, but it would be very anticlimactic because the holidays would come and I might get some time away from school commitments, and but then I would go out and realize that everybody else is away, right? You can't really go to your favorite restaurant. Traffic is going to be high, and if you want to travel, airfare is going to be expensive anyway. And it made me realize that the idea that everybody else is taking a holiday kind of negates the whole benefit of it, right? You can't really go out and expect to get some good service. Restaurants, if either they're closed or they're going to be crowded, either one, right? Actually, one of my favorite things to do on during the holiday season is any personal projects, right? The art projects, computer games, yeah, those things might not depend on other people being around. But even then, you run into other drama as well, right? You can't get your favorite snack foods at the grocery store when a craving hits at 2 in the morning. Actually, you can't do that now. Ever since COVID, you really can't do that anyway, but that's another story for another time. And it made me wish that we actually did just not had the holidays, right? We could get more work done and take other days off, right? This is very anticlimactic. Actually, if I had it my own way, we wouldn't have a fixed weekend as well, right? So some people would take Saturday and Sunday off. Other people might take Monday and Tuesday off. That way you could actually go out and enjoy your weekend and not have everything crowd out, right? I became very acutely aware of this problem when I was 23 years old because I had a bad relationship with a girl, and I broke up with her, and I discovered that I actually like going out by myself now. And so the holidays would come, oh, I can't go to my favorite restaurant. And it made me rethink about this. In an ideal world, depending on what you did for a living, I think we could get rid of all of our public holidays and just allow people to float their own holidays, right? If I had it my own way, I'd probably take, October 24th is Evelina Falenta's birthday. I'd probably take that day off. Actually, I'm kind of in a pickle on whether or not I should ask for that day off, because I work 2 different jobs now. I would hate to get approved for one and then can't take the other place off. That would just be a waste of a day. If anybody has ever tried to take a vacation from 2 different jobs, feel free to leave a comment on how you coordinated that. I only want it if I could get both off. Otherwise, it'd just be kind of a waste, right? And then November 7th is Mary Curry's birthday, and she, I believe, is also partly solosexual. You look at her biography, and she and Pierre were mostly just teammates, more so than spouses, right? And I often think of when you look at her biography after she became widowed, it was almost like a second marriage. I encourage you to think about that. I sometimes think of Evelina Falenta as a reincarnation of Mary Curry. I see a lot of similarities between the two, right? Mary Curry was pioneered that women can be involved in science, and Evelina Falenta is more like a pioneer for solosexuals. I see a lot of similarities between the two. I often think of them as generational twins, right? I really do, except that Evelina Falenta doesn't have to dabble with a marriage because it's more acceptable to just stay that way nowadays. Or Mary Curry actually had to get involved in a marriage, but then she got accepted, and then she could have that second marriage, right? I really do think it's a second marriage. I encourage you to think about that. 100 years from now, we could recognize that as a second marriage, right? History has a tendency to revise itself, so it remains to be seen. December 13th is Taylor Swift's birthday. I wouldn't be surprised if 100, 200 years from now, we look back and say that Taylor Swift really began her marriage when she was, I want to say with her Speak Now album, because you listen to her song about crashing a wedding, it really seems like she's singing about herself, that she doesn't need to get married. I encourage you to really think about that. Sometimes other songs in her album, especially Love Story, it sounds like she's singing a love story about herself. I don't think she at that time she had ever dated before. So it really does seem like a love story about herself. I encourage you to think about that. Again, history has a tendency to revise itself, right? A lot of relationships that we did not acknowledge in the past, especially like same-sex relationships, history will revise that away, right? So December 13, I sometimes think of it as break up from a toxic relationship day. I really do. And it's nice that you could actually go out and do that on those days, right? It's not going to be busy, and it could be somewhat recognized as well. And then we have December 21st, Mary Curry discovered radium, and I hope to do some traveling. I got to go see Mary Curry's statue in Warsaw at some point. I got some jewelry that I want to decorate the statue with and record a video there of both of her favorite elements. I got some watches, and then I made a couple bracelets out of a trace amount of one of her elements. The rest of it is missing a neutron, but we could decorate her with that as well. And a couple watches that glow in the dark. And it brought me a lot of good luck visiting her statue before. And also I got a couple friends I want to visit in Poland, and also a Ukrainian refugee that I met last year. But obviously I don't want to do that during a busy Christmas season, right? So that's why we need these floating holidays, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.